just remembered I brought a camera and was going to do video of working the cabin. So right now I'm in the process of getting the backhoe put back together. I already moved the scrap wood pile, dozed all this, made a plinking berm. This is still kind of rough because I'm just pushing and sawed around for now, but I've been mostly just trying to get all the stumps and everything out of here. Kind of push that back some to make room for the well. But alright, let's get the backhoe put together. Alright, here I'm just getting the stick strapped up to the boom so I can get it pulled out of the grass and get it lined up to mount it. And I'm going to go to high speed because this took a really long time. You guys don't want to watch all of it, but first I was going to try and do it right there, thinking it's kind of clear in the dirt, but then looked around, didn't like it. So I went ahead and moved out to more open ground. And then now I'm just trying to work on getting the stick all lined up, strap it up different ways to get it in. Kind of slowly sliding it down the boom, trying to keep it lined up. Get another ratchet strap to kind of keep it pulled from two sides, keep it a little straighter, and just jiggling to kind of line it up, square it in the dirt some more. Just slowly working it up into the pin and getting the pin in, and then got that in, working the hydraulic cylinder back and forth till it lines up enough to get it in. And now we're going to do the same with the bucket. It's pulling out of the grass and getting it ready to go. Alright, got the stick on and the boom on. Just taking a little break here. I just got to get the bucket on, which is the easiest part really. My high quality homemade spacers, because that part's a bit narrower than the gap on the bucket. And then got the pipe that's going to be the well pretty much ready to go. I know it doesn't look fancy, but it doesn't need to be. It's just, there's a lot of silt in the ground up here, so I'm going to wrap it with fabric to keep the silt out so when the water goes in. So that's just enough across the bottom there so they all hold together and the fabric doesn't get pushed up and torn by the silt or anything. It's got, you know, something to support it. And there's enough holes around the edge it can get water in, and then drilled a bunch of holes in here so it can take water in, about 4 foot deep. Got the pitless in there, and then it's just the rest of it. Eventually I'll have to make a lid for it once we get it in, but that should be roughly 10 foot deep where the pitless is at, so it shouldn't freeze. And then got cleared over here. Well, there's still some sticks and stuff around from, got the dozer out here in the winter and pushed the brush a little bit. I know it's not pretty, but it's got it pushed back and cleared more than it was. In the winter it'll just look like there's nothing there. Eventually I'll clean it up better and get a brush hog or something out here, but for now it's pushed back so there's a fire barrier and there's more area around the cabin. In the winter you can work without getting stuck at alders, because those things are 8-10 feet tall, so it takes a lot of snow or a heavy wet one to weigh them down and do it. And for this stuff in the winter, I forgot it was here and kind of spread it out through there, and some of it's still sitting here, but we'll get to cleaning that up a little later. The well's gonna go up over there somewhere. And run it down. Still gotta get rid of that stump. But if we want to get over here at the backhoe, I can pull it out and move it. But we're gonna be running the septic line and the water line in right at the edge of that window. Or we'll go past the cabinet I was talking about last time. So for now we just need to get in there, and because of the cribs I don't want to weaken it too much, so directly under it I'm only going to go 4 foot deep, which is as deep as the septic needs to be, and then I'll taper it off for the water down to 10. And then I've got some spray foam, and I'm going to put a pipe around the water one and spray it in there. I meant to get foam board, but well, I forgot, so I'm going to work with what I got on that. And that's pretty much where we're at for right now. I mean, there's the backhoe I put the outhouse in with, and did some other work around here. I know it's not pretty, doesn't look great, but in a lot of ways it's better than it was. Like if you look here, from cutting this whole area where the cabin is, used to be covered in alders like that. And from just chainsawing them out of the way to clear, you can see got this whole big root thing here, and it goes all the way over there and ties into that, and they're just ankle breakers, and there's more roots sticking out there. It's just a mess, so I've just kind of been pushing a lot of them out. There's some more over there, but that scrap wood pile was here from all the remnants. You can probably see from my little pieces, but had to clear it out to get the septic and well in. But yeah, so that's the main thing. Like I said, it's not super pretty, but pretty much all the ankle busters are gone. And the main thing for this week is to get the well and the septic tank in, and then next year or later this year, depending, I can try and clean it up and pretty it up more, or at the very least just get a brush hog and drive around and mow all the root stuff. Like you can see a bunch of them sticking up there and everything. It's just everywhere. You trip on them, twist your ankle on them. Some of the ones like that one, the wheelers get hung up on them when you can't see them buried in grass. So yeah, let's get this bucket on. Alright, it's the next day. First thing this morning, I went ahead and got the rest of the pins in the bucket there. So it's all good to go. Now we just need to top off the hydraulic fluid. And then you guys will get to see how light in the front end it makes this thing with the backhoe hanging off the back. All set up to pull this stump out. gonna check my depths and shut the camera off and just go, because this is gonna take probably all day to dig what I need to dig. And well, I'll do little updates as we go. Alright, here's where we are at. Started out trying to dig a trench to put in a water line and a well. Spent a day and a half, 2 days doing that, and only made it 30 feet. Because once you get down, you can kind of see it there, 2 to 3 feet depending on the spot. The ground gets really hard with clay and rocks. The ground gets really hard with clay and rocks, and this little dozer backhoe was really struggling with it. And even worse, actually we'll wander over here. When I got this thing, it didn't have a 6-way, and the 6-way that I got with the valve was all rusted solid, so I got one of the cheap eBay valves. And after it gets up, it's not even hot. I mean, as long as I can hold my hand on it, it's got to be 180, 160 somewhere in their temperature. The relief valve on that, even after trying to crank it down, just, you can't hardly do anything. If you got a full bucket of dirt, it won't even pick it up all the way. So I've been able to run it depending on how long it sat, and I'd open that with wire, trying to let air flow to keep it cooler. Doesn't seem to be helping. But getting anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour of being able to use it, and then you gotta wait an hour or so for it to cool back down. And right now it's overcast and cool, so it's helping. But yesterday and the day before, it was sunny and 70 degrees, so it just made it worse. But decided in the time I had, I wasn't gonna get the well done. I mean, I got 25, 30 feet or so, and I was trying to get to 85 feet of trench and then put in the well. So I decided to skip to just putting the tank in, because get the tank in, then we can just go to the water hole or something, fill a barrel, and then still have water and be able to use it. And this little bit there, that first trench I dug for the drop for the tank and where the water line was going to go, and was actually a lot easier digging. The farther I went up that way, I actually called it quits on that, because it got harder and harder, to the point where when I'd scrape it, first when I'd scrape it with the teeth, it'd break up, then I could scoop it. And then it got to the point where when I scraped it with the teeth, there would just be marks from the teeth in it, and you'd go down and it just, you know, the teeth marks would just get deeper and deeper, and it's just not getting anywhere. So this is almost ready. I've just got to take about 2 more inches out of the bottom, and then actually widen this end up, because, well, backhoe digging, and, you know, as weak as it is, it doesn't like holding to the side, so it's kind of a V-shaped hole. So now that it's cooled down a bit, I've got to widen that end and then try slinging the tank in there. Okay. Well, straps didn't do it, so I went and got my ATV recovery gear. Hopefully this is stout enough. Well, as you can probably see there at the end, gotta let the dozer cool off again. And when it lifted the boom up, had to keep pulling the stick in to get the boom up. There we go. So, let it cool. We're almost there. Got the back end a little wider. So, yeah. Wait about an hour and try some more. Alright, it's an hour later. Hopefully it's cooled off enough. Let's see if we can finish cleaning this out and get her in there. more or less in there. Should have a compactor around it, but I don't have one. But it's gonna have 4 foot of cover. There's gonna be a 10-foot stick from here to there, so it meets the Alaska DEC requirements. And I'm just gonna put a 90 on with the pipe sticking up out of the outlet for now, just so it'll be easy to find in the future when we actually add some kind of leach system. But for now, got this in the hole, got to get the pipes on it, and yeah, one step closer. Got the pipe all bedded in, 10-foot stick, and then use 2 45s and just going up with a cap on it for now. But that's where eventually it'll go in, and this will all get insulated. And yeah, the barrel's bedded in, got the uprights on. Gonna leave them tall so they don't get hit by a snow machine in the winter in the snow. And on this end for now, just, you know, like I said, a 90 with just a pipe going up so it can be found. We start digging again to get, you know where the end is at. So I'm gonna go take the backhoe. Let's just always zoom in on its own. Whew. There we go. Gonna go take the backhoe off the dozer and then just push blade this in, because it'll be way quicker and easier than trying to use that slow backhoe. There's a bit of a hole there, so we get insulation down around the pipe. It's not pretty, but well, it's mud. And I generally, when I was doing excavation, took pride in having my poles straight, but pushing in with the dozer's a lot harder to do, and plus that backhoe would have taken so long, I just don't have the time. Gotta get back to work. So this is the mess we got for now, and I'll be that way for a minute. Oh, hear the wind turbine humming up there. We're getting some power. Also this week we've got our put a wall there for a wind block. I was trying to barbecue on the porch and it was getting blown away, so took leftover D-logs and just made a wind block with a corner you can peek out of. Got the other solar panel up. Oh, I should have washed it and see fingerprints all over it. To do that later. And the 2 others over here. And went from getting about a maximum of 5 amps, and now we're getting a maximum of 10 amps, so that works out right. All right.